Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is Get Wrenching. I'm your host Murray. Today, what are we doing? Well, we're going to tear apart this ultra rare 340 with W2 heads. No, it's just a 318. But sit back, relax, grab yourself a sandwich and a beverage, and we're going to tear into this. So YouTube, what we're going to do today, this is a small block 318 I got from my buddy Carter. I've had this in my timing video here a little while back in October. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tear this completely down. And the reason why I'm doing this is I do get a 360 Magnum, but financial, strains here in the past little bit has kind of put a limit on my budget, and probably has yours too. So what I got to do is I got to tear apart the engine, do some measuring, make sure that this thing doesn't need to go to the machine shop, and I got to do the same thing with the 360. Then I got to weigh out options. Do I build the 318? Do I build the 360? Cost versus what I want to do. So let me bring you in a little closer and we'll start draining some fluids out of this, because come to my surprise, it's still got coolant and oil in it. So let's get set up for that and we'll get at it. So YouTube, I got to remove this plug here, drain the coolant out of the block. I went to go remove that bolt, which is for your tom cover, which is over at my place. Carter had removed this because he needed this plate that keeps your cam in there, and he took the eccentric off to run his fuel pump. So what I got to do is drain the coolant out of here, pull the oil out of here. I already got a pan set up that's ultra tippy, so I'm going to have to try to find something to wedge underneath of it, because if not, then this just goes all over my aunt and uncle's garage floor. And I don't think they'd appreciate coming back from Ontario to find a big oil stain on the floor. Yeah, that probably wouldn't go very good. So let's get her draining. Okay, YouTube. So 9/16. Couple of these windshield washer jugs. I got a funnel. What I'm going to do is remove this plug here, get it in here, start draining there. I got a backup system. And if this gets full, which I doubt it, I got this. Because what I'm trying to do is avoid the biggest mess that you guys and girls know what these engines do. They just make a mess. It don't matter how much you drain these, take whatever out, they're always full of coolant and oil. So let's get at it. Oh yeah, that was off. That came off yesterday. Yep. Oh, the manifolds are still, oh my goodness. Oh. Well, boys and girls, YouTube land, you're probably going to see some cursing today. You're in for a treat. Yeah, we still got some water in there. YouTube, as you can see, boy, that fella right there, you can see how rusted, that don't look too bad. But these bolts here, the heads are, different shapes, what have you. Those are still in good shape. They're in studs. There wasn't very much oil in this thing, but the oil that was in it was very clean. Also, this side here, it's not so bad, I guess, this side. This will be the side I'll start with first. Yeah, most definitely. I'll start with this side first. And hopefully I won't have a battle trying to get them off. So that's the first thing I'm going to tackle here is the lovely manifold. So I might set you up and you might watch me struggle a little bit. So 1/2 inch, these are YouTube. I'm going to see if these can, oh, that one, ooh, that one came loose. That one came loose. What? Really? Well, I said this side looked like the easy side. I guess I was right. Awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Over here. They're small. Ooh, ain't they small. Wow, that's small ports. Holy, yeah, there's the old small grades. Gotta love them. Also, YouTube, the reason why I took these off, because you can't get at the cylinder head bolts with the manifolds there, these lower ones. You can get at the top ones, not the lower ones. So YouTube, what we're going to do here now, I just went around and took this flathead screwdriver and just was cleaning any of the residual dirt, because this engine is going to get cleaned, that's for sure. I'm definitely not just going to take it apart and not clean it. What I'm going to do is remove this engine hoist plate that my buddy Brandon gave me, and then I'm going to remove all these bolts here in the intake, remove the intake, and we'll be able to see inside. So just sit back, relax, and watch me tear this apart. YouTube, here's what she looks like in here. Now the valley, it's got some, she got some baked on oil. I'm telling you, that cam does not look like a roller cam. It definitely may not be the stock one either, because this was in a different vehicle at one time. Also, I'll show you this custom hot rod work that they did to this intake, trying to turn a dual plane into a single plane. This is the hot rod magic I was talking about, that I will not be using this intake now. I know everyone will probably yell at me. No, use it anyway. No way. I don't care if them ports are big or what. But man. Yeah. So, I will get at taking the rocker arm shafts off, and you sit back and watch me do that. So guys and gals, YouTube land, I'm going to remove these rocker pedestals. So what you want to do is loosen this a little bit, and just keep working the tension off of these, because these will warp. I haven't seen it personally. I've heard the horror stories, so I was always taught just to back them off gradually, and you shouldn't have any trouble. So let's get these babies off. So YouTube, what we're going to do now is we're going to remove the bolts for the cylinder heads. So the way to do that, we're going to start opposite of the torque sequence. And usually you torque these in a circle. You work your way from the center, working your way out. So we're going to do that reverse. So we're going to start here, 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 and then here, and then here, and then here, and then back here, here, and here, and here, and then eventually we'll be done, and the cylinder will be off. So let's get at it. So YouTube, I got the cylinder heads off. We got some cross hatching going on here, and I'm not hooking anything with a nail. Like, I'll get that right in here. See if I can get my, look at that. Like the cross, like, look, that is awesome. So far, so good. You can see here what I'm saying with these lifters. They don't look like roller lifters to me. So I'm going to get that cylinder head off. Then I will bring you back, show you what that side looks like. So far, I'm liking what I see. You do see a little bit of scoring in there, but that's just from dirt like that was in there. Because I bought this engine. It was sitting in a shop on a floor in a corner. I got it for $100. So excited. So far, man, this has been $100 well spent. I'll bring you over and show you the cylinder head. Here's the cylinder head. These is what they call the 302 castings, and you can see the quench spot here. Look, pretty well flat. It gives you a little bit more compression. A little smaller CC on a lower compression engine. Yeah, should give you a little more power. Got some oil in there because I poured some oil down through her. Just so when I'm rolling it over and whatever, I used to come over once a month, roll it over, put a little ATF down through it just to keep it good. So obviously it worked. I bought that engine 3 years ago. 3 years ago. So I'll get that other cylinder head off and I'll bring you back in and I'll show you what I got. So YouTube, about the same over here. That's one's at the top but stroke. But same thing. Not hooking anything. Also, there's the cylinder head that came off. There's the head gasket too. That's the type of head gasket they used. I'd say they're just a little cheapo. Don't see no special markings or anything into it. That one cylinder on one side looked like it said number 3 on it. Right here. See that? Then I tried to look for any other markings on that. And these are all carboned up. But I never seen nothing drastic onto it. So what I'm going to do now is try to get the lifters up and see if they're rollers or not. And I don't know if I brought my long needle nose pliers to remove that gear right there. That's for your oil pump. That's where your distributor sets into and runs off the cam gear, turns that, and distributes fire to your cylinders. And also lets the engine pump oil, the rest of the engine. So let's see what one of these lifters look like. Okay, YouTube. Been a couple days since I've taken this apart, but so I got the cam out, all the lifters. Very interesting is this side started to go to crap. They're all dented pretty good. You can see that one there is, she was starting. She had problems. And of course, they're all stuck in there. This side didn't seem too bad. For a roller block, these look like the weirdest roller, you know. I know this is flat tap it, but I know you can put a roller cam into a roller, or flat tap it, sorry, into a roller block. I know you can do that. Also, I just want you to check out this handy craftsmanship. So when you're putting these bearings in for a cam, these holes are supposed to line up with the bottom holes so they can oil. Well, I dare say whoever put this engine together didn't get them quite lined up, and they decided to, you know, drill the hole out. And of course, the cam bearings are, well, I don't think there's much saving them. And I'm most definitely not reusing the cam. Let's see if I can grab it here. Here's the cam here. The only number I was able to find onto it, see if I can get her lined up here. Right there, J20. That was it. I checked this end and this end, and no other numbers was on it. If you guys and gals in the comments know what that is, jot it down for me. I'd like to know. I'm going to do some measuring onto it to see what the lift is actually for that cam. I'm not reusing it. I'd have heard people reusing flat tappets before, just keep the lifters, you know, corresponding with. No, I'm not doing that. I may not be rebuilding this engine. It all depends if the 360s is good, but this so far is shown to be a good builder. Also, I got the oil pan off. God at that. She's a little sludgy. Like I said, this engine sat around for a couple years. So, yeah, Carter was driving it, but, you know, that's what oil does over time. Guys and gals, make sure you change your oil. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to flip this engine over and probably make a severe mess. And now we're going to start taking the pistons and stuff out. Okay, YouTube, sorry about that. Got kind of a little carried away here. Me and the young fella started listening to tunes, started just repping. So now I got the base pan completely off. I showed you that. Now I got the engine drained and I got it turned upside down. I'll give you a little view. Here's what she looks like. Get some light on here. She don't look too bad in there. Looks pretty clean. I couldn't spin this off, so someone's obviously torqued that on way too much, so I'm just going to have to take it right off all as one unit, which I will be replacing the oil pump anyway. So far, so good. Well, I'll get you guys and gals set up here on the trusty dusty tripod, and away we go. As you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain. I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away. Okay, YouTube. I got all the pistons out. If you guys and gals are ever, you know, you see any of these and you're doing this engine work, like I just number them like that, put the corresponding numbered piston in there,
And there's spot for 8, especially for an 8-banger. Works pretty good. Also, I've seen Uncle Tony does the same thing. So, okay, sure. I guess I'm not the only one that does it. But here we are. Sad part, this little thing here, these little marks, I can actually hook with my nail. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to talk to somebody about that. And also over here, I see a spot right here. Boop. And yeah, I'm hooking that with my nail. But the rest of it actually feels pretty good. Like I could probably wet sand that out. So far, so good. Pistons are all out. Didn't give me a big fight. So now let's remove the crank and I'll bring you in to show you that. But I actually, took my nail and run it down the cylinder wall and I hooked an edge. I hope that 360 is good. Okay, guys and gals here, YouTube. Got the engine apart. This is what I found. So, main cat number 1. That's where she goes. Not too bad. Main cat number 2. It's right here. And that's where that rides. Right here. It's hard to get this to focus. It keeps wanting to focus on that crank. This is where your thrust bearing goes. There's that main cap. There's that one. That's where that lives. And then there's this one. And yeah, that's not oil. That is the coat's starting to come off. And there's a lot of heavy grooves in it. Great. So I just mentioned in that little other clip there I ran my fingernail down the cylinder wall too and just nicked an edge. Would this engine last if I kept it together? Probably. Would it last, say, if I was going to go drag race it every day? Probably not. Definitely no. Yeah, I really hope that 360 is in better shape than this, because what I'm seeing so far, first was looking great. But I did only buy this engine for the cylinder heads, which I thought were great flowing cylinder heads according to the internet. Well, I did some digging myself, and I don't even know if those cylinder heads are worth $100. Like, unless you were building some kind of number matching car like a Diplomat or something, might be, but they're called a fast burn cylinder head. They got 56 to 65 cc's is what I got written down. That's quite the number. 56 to 65. Some precise, eh? But they are low. They are, I guess, if you put them on a low compression engine, it boosts it up like a half compression and gives you that much more. Which I don't know if you're going to feel the difference. So what I'm going to do here now is clean this up a little bit, get that crank back out, get the caps put back on where they're supposed to go, and ask some questions before I release this video. Ask you, the viewers, especially 2 of my Mopar viewers I know that are watching that have fidangled in this 318 world, especially 318 will run, and Mopar Joe. I know both of you have. I've watched plenty of your content over the years to know better. Yeah, maybe give me some advice here what I should do, because I've played more with Chevs than I have with Dodge. And it's not because I don't like Dodge, because Dodge is my favorite vehicle. It's just that Chevy was more affordable for horsepower versus what like Dodge and Ford were. So this is why I'm playing with a 318, guys and gals. The YouTube land. I know you probably think I'm crazy. I'm not. This is my budget. We all got a set budget, and mine's very limited. What I mean by limited, I mean here in the past a little bit, there's no budget now. Like, there's not even a question of a budget, but if I stumble over some money, I'm going to buy pieces over time. Hopefully the next engine I get and tear it apart is going to be that 360, and it's going to be in way better shape than this one. So I'm going to get cleaned up here, and we'll end this video out. So YouTube, I'm bringing you back after doing a little bit of cleaning on this engine. That there, I can hook my nail into. Not good. Not good at all. Here, bunkers. Yeah. Other cylinders don't look as bad until we come over to the driver's side of the block, which you see that there, which I can hook my nail to. And then this right here, that is rough. And that is rough down there. And it is rough in here. Oh boy. Yep. So what did I buy myself? Well, I knew it was, going to be rebuilt, or it can be rebuilt. Most definitely. With the right amount of money that I don't have. Did I get ripped off? No. No. I needed a base pan. Got one. This right there. That's, that's for a car. Bonus. Got a timing cover. Come with a fuel pump. Came with a set of cylinder heads. Now, yes, I haven't checked the cylinder heads. Yes, they're prone for cracking, especially where the valve seats are. The more digging I do on them cylinder heads, the more I don't like them. The more I want to go with a Magnum head. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring you in and show you that little surprise that I found, that there's more to it than so there you have it, YouTube. We got that old 318 tore apart. It was basically somewhat tore apart to begin with because Carter robbed the time cover and stuff off to get the cam plate and the little centric for his fuel pump. So the next thing we're going to do is take the cylinder heads apart, inspect those. So that'll be the next video. I can guarantee you that one. Also, I'm waiting to hear, I shouldn't say I'm waiting to hear, I got to call him. Yeah. Warnie's on vacation for a couple months, but his son-in-law is at the junkyard, so I'm going to give him a call and see if one of those fellows can remove that 360 for me so I can pick it up after work here one of these days. And you guessed it, we're going to diagnose that, because what we're going to do, see which engine needs the less machine work at a machine shop. So that way I can afford to put it together, so I can show you good folks here in YouTube land the little tips and tricks that we're going to do on a budget to make a little bit of power, have a little bit of fun at the drag strip. So there, that's going to conclude it for me today, guys and gals here at YouTube land. If you like what you saw, how about giving me a like? If you really like what you saw, how about a subscribe? That would be great. There's no commitments, no contracts, cost you absolutely nothing. And if you don't like what you see, you can unsubscribe at any time. No hard feelings at all. Also, leave a comment. Don't care if it's good or bad. Helps the channel out, boosts the algorithms. That way we can see how far we can take this channel. So, just remember, guys and gals, if you do this for a living or just for a hobby, just remember, stay safe, get wrenching. See you next time.